Hi there, Bob Moog here from UG Studios, and today I am interviewing Herr Dieter Strehl. Dieter runs the Piatnik company, which is based in Vienna, Austria, and is a global company in playing cards and also in puzzles and games. Dieter is joining us here at the New York Toy Fair, and the first thing I like to do in these interviews is I like to pay, and we don't have any euros today, so your compensation, Dieter, is a button that celebrates UG Studios. So wear the button with great pride.
Thank you very much.
I think that might be the most I've ever paid you for anything.
I think so too, yes.
So. Dieter and I met a long time ago. What year was it, do you think, when we met? Was it in the 1980s?
It was in the 1980s. I think we met in New Orleans the first time.
I think we did at a Toy Inventors Conference, and I was speaking at it.
Yes.
And you attended it, and that was the beginning of what's become a really long, great friendship. One of the things about your company that I find really interesting is that it has been a family business for longer than any company in the United States. Can you talk a little bit about when the company was founded and sort of what, as a managing director, where you are in the lineage?
Yes, certainly.
But first, wait, before you start, in Austria, I think that the Strehl family and the Piatnik started it are really a royal family, and so I'd like you to wear our royal crown, because we've never had royalty in here before doing an interview. Oh, that is perfect. Does it fit?
No.
Okay, well, that's close enough. So now tell me about your family, Your Highness.
Well, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. But kingdoms and kings and emperors have been abolished long ago, fortunately. If you look at the families who have been kings 100 years ago, you say fortunately, really.
Yes.
Let me speak about the Piatnik company. The Piatnik company is now 196 years old, which is quite long. It was founded in 1824 in Vienna. But
before Milton Bradley, before Parker Brothers, before any of them.
Ravensburger,
before Ravensburger.
Most other companies. And it was founded not by my great-great-grandfather, it was founded by a guy called Moser. And my great-great-grandfather, who was born in Budapest, he worked as an apprentice in the beginning in this company, and then the founder, after 20 years, he died. And then comes the strange part, actually. If you look at it from today, because he took over the company, the great-great-grandfather, Mr. Ferdinand Piatnik, but he also took over the widow.
Really?
It was kind of a package deal.
So he took, which did he get first, the widow or the company?
I don't know, but I find it very strange that those things somehow got together in times before Social Security and other things existed. But they lived together happily.
Was she involved in the company, or at that time women were not running companies? So he ran the company.
At that time, women rarely ran companies. But later, another wife came, a younger one, because she was 20 years older than him. And then a lot of children came, and then the development progressed. Until today, I'm the fifth generation. The fifth generation. And we have been dealing with board games for many, many years now. We introduced Trivial Pursuit, we manufactured Monopoly, and we have contacts all over the world.
And you're based in Vienna, and your German games, as I understand it, you sell in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland.
Yes.
Where else do you sell games directly? Because people in the United States aren't familiar necessarily with the Piatnik name, but if one goes to Europe, it's very well known.
The problem with games and Europe is that there are so many languages in Europe. A mother from Poland or a mother from Italy also wants to have an Italian game and not an English game or not a German game. So at the end of the day, you have 28 different editions of the same game that you have to sell.
And you do 28 different editions?
And in some cases, we do 15 or so.
15, wow.
But not more. And the next problem is that it is quite difficult to predict the success of an item. And Christmas is around the same time in all countries.
It's the same time in all countries. It's funny because we have a business in Australia, and I always say to them, when's Christmas? And they say, well, for us, it's opposite. It's in July, and I always thought they were kidding because we know when Christmas is. And it turns out in Australia, they actually have a big selling season in July. They call it Christmas in July because that's their winter. But in Austria, it's still December 25th.
Yes.
Yeah. That's good. One of the reasons I was asking about where you sell directly is because I know you were one of the leaders of, starting in 1989 when the Soviet Union fell apart, of selling in Eastern Europe. And I think you still are pretty active there, aren't you?
We're very active in Eastern Europe. The Piatnik name is a Slavic name, and therefore sounds familiar to many people in Eastern Europe. One of our biggest successes is the game called Activity, which is a bit misleading in English. For non-English speakers, this sounds very sexy. And we have sold more than 1 million games in Russia alone.
Wow, a million games of Activity.
Of this title. This comes from the fact that we started early.
I think it's important for people to know that, you know, a lot of Americans, as you know, are very provincial. They think U.S. is the whole world. And what one of the things you also have done is you were early into the United States with playing cards. Can you talk a little bit about when you started in the United States and how your business is going in the United States?
Well, we started with playing cards in the United States in the 1890s, I think.
That's pretty early, I was right.
And we have concentrated on gift items and on museum-type stores.
And that's been your strategy. Is it your strategy everywhere to sell to museum and gift, or is that just a U.S. strategy?
That's a U.S. strategy because the U.S. is such a huge market. And it is, I would not say that this is provincial, that many Americans think that America is the center of the world, because in many industries it is like that. Therefore, we did not want to go to Vegas or to other places because there are other people who concentrate on this business. And we wanted to take part in the gifty side, at least in America.
It's really fascinating. I've got 3 more questions for you. The first one is, what do you see going forward for Piatnik? Are you going to try to maintain the status quo? Do you have expansion plans? Are there new categories you're going to get into? What can we expect to see in the next 5 years with Piatnik?
Well, I think that we are very glad and happy that we are in a business, in an industry of boxed board games that is booming.
Yes.
Surprisingly.
It's booming in Europe and in the U.S.
And in the U.S. And many people don't believe that. Many people think, well, everything is Google and Facebook and stuff like that. It is not. People enjoy doing something together, having fun together. And therefore, I think we will see a lot of successful board games in the future. This is the area where we concentrate on, and this is the area where we want to continue to grow.
So my second to last question was, when it comes to games, do you have a favorite game that you played?
I like to play traditional card games, and there's one which is called Tarock.
Tarock, I've heard of Tarock, yes.
Which I like very much and play with many friends.
Okay, my last question, and I don't ask this to everyone when I do these interviews, is you live in Austria, you travel around Europe. What's your favorite beer?
That's a difficult question. I would go for Otterkringer because it's brewed and made in Vienna.
Oh, that's good. So it's a local beer from you.
Yes.
And is it a big brewery or is it
It's a relatively big family-owned brewery. Yes.
All right. And do you know the family?
I don't know the family. I only drink the beer.
Can you get to know the family? I'd love a tour of the brewery the next time I come to Vienna. Okay, you can organize
do
that.
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you so much. This is Herr Dieter Strehl from Vienna, Austria, and thank you so much for being part of our programming today.
Thank you for the interview.
And you're the king to me all the time. Thank you.
Thank you.